All right, guys. I am in front of the Houmas House right now. I'm going to take you on one of the haunted tours. It's something new they're doing this year for Halloween. So Ruby's going to be our tour guide, and here it goes.
Okay. All right. Now, my name is activity in the house lately, y'all. Okay, a lot of activity. Hopefully you'll experience some of it in the house. Okay. Now, first of all, I'd like to tell you there have been reports of a young lady up on the Belvedere that would walk around. We also call that the Riddles Walk. And what ladies would do when they, at the winters, their husbands went out to the Mississippi River, they're sailing out to sea or whatever like that. Approximately the time when they were going to come back, the ladies would go up there to search for their husband's ship.
Forgive me, I don't have a gimbal for this, so it may be a little wobbly. We're just doing something different for you guys today. Let me know. Just to see how it works out.
And all this we have.
I've never done a ghost story, but we've done weddings here and a whole bunch of kinds of
Our sugar cane plantation, okay? And I just want to tell you that this mansion was built in 3 different parts, 3 different sections, okay? The first section was this orange color building back here. It was built in 1774 by 2 gentlemen by the name of Alexander Luttil and Maurice Conway. That is called the trading post, but it's also called the French house because there's 2 gentlemen's rooms on the second level. The second part of the mansion was built between the orange color building and this first shutter right here. And it was called a detached gentleman. William Donaldson, John Wren Scott, Daniel Clark. They're the ones that cleared the land and they're the ones that started growing sugarcane on the land. So they put in one of the first sugar mills between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. The rest of the mansion was built between 1829 and 1830 by General Wade Hampton, befitting his wife, Mary Cathy Hampton. Okay? General Wade Hampton was a Revolutionary War hero. And he owned several cotton plantations there in South Carolina and in Mississippi. Now, the Houmas Indians, this is actually the location of their ceremonial grounds, okay? They own 300,000 acres of this land.
Wow.
Way back in the day, okay? Now, their numbers have dwindled down over the years. In the early 1600s, they numbered between 700 and 800 strong. By the time Luttil and Conway showed up, there were under 100 left. We're talking European disease, wars, and whatnot, okay? Now, they were a very gracious tribe. They would welcome you into their tribe, but don't stab them in the back, okay? Well, one time, they did welcome the Tunica tribe out of Mississippi into their tribe. They were going to teach them how to farm. But in the middle of the night, the Tunica tribe slaughtered a large segment of the Houmas Indians in their sleep. So, on this land. All right, come with me.
and a lot of paranormal stuff.
Oh, yes.
Where are you guys from?
There
Here?
has been sightings of
Cool,
a
cool.
soldier walking through the night. And believe it or not, the deal between those worlds, spiritual world and real
Are you
world,
on YouTube as well?
thinner and thinner the closer we
Oh,
get.
okay, because I would look at it. Oh, you do it officially for the Houmas House?
Wait, I did.
Yes.
For the boat this
That's when
morning.
they're locked back into their world.
That's
Anyway.
right.
Now, the Alley of Oaks. Before 1927, there was no levee there, so you could actually see the river from here. But there was a catastrophic flood that year. And although it flooded the grounds here, it actually flooded other mansions, sometimes 30 feet high.
Wow.
So, yeah. So the Army Corps of Engineers came in through here and built this levee. But they finished here about 1932, 1933. But when they built the levee, they had to cut down 16 of our 24 live oaks. Okay? Well, the people that cut down those 16 trees thought that they could ride them down the Mississippi to Mississippi to New Orleans to sell them. 16 men wrote those laws and drowned. Okay? Supposedly, the 16 men haunt the remaining trees because at one time they stood up and down, straight as an arrow, and now they wilt because they have spirits in them. All right?
Spirits, guys, spirits.
Come on in to the mansion now, please.
Oh, jeez.
Make sure nobody messes with her.
There we go.
It's cool that they all win.
Now we're entering inside the Houmas house, guys, and it looks like we're getting. I was worried about how the video would come out here, but I think it's coming out okay, at least in this room.
All right, folks. Now, the current owner does live in the mansion, so we cannot open up doors and drawers or cabinets or anything like that. You can take pictures within the mansion. All I ask is that you take them while I'm talking. And if you need to sit down, please let me know. I will tell you which chairs to sit down in. We don't want you to end up on the floor. Okay? Now, this mural you see on the wall was painted in 2003 by our resident gardener of over 30 years and self-taught artist, Mr. Craig Black. It depicts a sugarcane field with a lot of local wildlife painted in it. But now these two dogs on this wall were the beloved pets of the current owner. Over here is Grace Kelly, over there is Sam Kelly. And they are now buried in the pet cemetery across the yard. I would advise you not go near that pet cemetery. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Yes, indeed, right? So, all right. Now, this map is an 1847 graded census map of the great state of Louisiana. The census is here, and it names all the plantations along the rivers of the state. We're located right here in this big red dot. Now, this map was actually found in 1975, and they were putting in air conditioning. It was hidden on the third level, underneath some floorboards, wrapped in cypress shavings.
Wow.
Now, we believe it was John Burnside who did this map. John Burnside bought it in 1858. He owned it during the Civil War. Now, there was a general by the name of Benjamin Butler, a Union general, going up and down the Mississippi River, pillaging, plundering, burning down plantations left and right. Well, Burnside felt that if he got a hold of this map, well, it was a direct roadmap to pillage, plunder, and burn down every plantation in Louisiana. And believe me, that man had enough time, he would have done it. He was not a very nice guy. Okay? All right, let's go on to the phone line.
This one.
That's not fair. But that's what there is that's
All right. Now, folks, the crystal chandelier is 400 pounds of crystal. It's a waterfall from Ireland. All the fireplaces in the mansion are black Italian marble, but the baseboards are faux mauve, false marble. And if I can get your attention to the cabinets on the walls, you'll see what is known as the Houmas china. It was commissioned by Mary Canty Hampton from France, originally 600 pieces, and it's all inlaid in 24-karat gold. Now, there is something strange that happens in this room. I've experienced it twice. You see, I close down the mansion every Monday night, okay? Sometimes I don't get out of here until 8:30. That means I gotta shut down all the lights, I have to close and open all the doors. And one night I was really tired after a shift, and I did what I had to do, and I went out to set the alarm. Lo and behold, it said, motion and formal dining room. So, I had to come out all the way around, come in through the front door, come in here, and I look around, I see everything's okay. Oh Lord, there's nobody else in this house, folks. Ooh, look at the chili, look at the chicken. Anyway, so I look around, and I go around, I walk around the table. I walk, make sure that everything's okay. Walk around, look around. I stop right here and I go, look here, y'all, I want to go home. Okay? Y'all need to stop moving around in here, okay? So I go out, I set the alarm, it sets. And that's happened twice to me already.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? There you go.
These are nice. They let you go.
Yeah. they still make you go all the way around and inside, and all that stuff, so. All right, now, dinners would last for hours in this room, but after dinner was finally done, the gentleman would actually escort the ladies into the ladies' parlor for a bit of witty conversation and entertainment. Come on in, folks.
Ooh, I heard a scary noise.
Now, folks, the ladies had to work really hard to keep the attention of those gentlemen in here. They did it with humor, intelligence. The ladies, not too much intelligence, okay? Sometimes we had to keep some things to ourselves, okay? Now, the little girl in the painting, she's pretty creepy, right? She looks at me whenever I go around. Her eyes always follow me. But her name is Julie Manet. She is the niece of the famous Impressionist artist Manet, okay? The tapestries in the back, well, they date back 190 years to 1832. It involved cotton pulling, needlework, and beadwork. Took several hundred hours to make one. And they were both made by the Ursuline nuns out of New Orleans. It was a task given them to teach them patience. Okay? So at least something's blessed in here. Okay? Now, when General Wade Hampton died in 1835, the next in line to get the plantation would have been his son, Wade Hampton II, but he was too busy with the cotton plantations in South Carolina and in Mississippi. So eventually he gave up his interest in this plantation to his mother and his two sisters. Now, Suzanne married a man named John Lawrence Manning, and she ends up dying giving birth to the third child. So that's when they decided to start dividing up the land. Now they divided up into thirds. John Lawrence Manning married right away after his wife died, so they got a third of the land. Mary Canty Hampton got this third of the land with the home on it. And then Caroline and John Smith Preston got the other third. Now, after everything was said and done, Mary went ahead and gave up her third to Marion and John, where they used as a winter retreat. Now, during with the death of a loved one, usually funerals would happen in the parlors, okay? And usually the widows would dress all in black. This is the lady in mourning.
My husband just passed away today. Due to his death, we'll stop every clock in the house at the moment that he died. We'll cover our mirrors because the next person that would be seen in one would be said to be the next that we would mourn. Me, as a widow, I will mourn for 1 to 4 years. However, if it would be me that he was mourning, he would only mourn for 6 months. He would need to quickly marry to find someone to take care of our small children that I left behind.
All right. Now on to the next room. 6 months, I told you.
Oh, no, we said it gotta be longer than 6 months.
Oh no, we've had this conversation.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Look how scary, guys. It's a scary person.
All right. Now, ladies, although the gentlemen were allowed in the ladies' parlor to be entertained by us, well, we weren't allowed in this parlor. As a matter of fact, when you stepped into this parlor, you became a scandalous woman. Okay? I won't tell if you don't. So, now, this is where I tell you a story of John Burnside, and that's a pretty creepy story in itself. Now, we don't know much about John Burnside's childhood, except he was born in Ireland, he became an orphan, and he ended up in the area of Baltimore when he was 12 or 13 years old with $1.25 in his pocket. Now, during his travels south looking for work, he ended up in Virginia where he met a boy around his own age named Oliver Byrne. Now, Oliver's father, Andrew, owned a merchandise store there, so he employed Burnside as a stock boy. John works his way up to junior partner, and that's when Andrew decided to send Burnside, his son Oliver, and another son named Andrew to New Orleans to open up a dry goods store there. The store did very well after a while, becoming international. But by this time, poor Andrew dies in Virginia. So Oliver and his brothers sell their shares to the store to John Burnside, go back to Virginia to handle their father's affairs. Now this is where John does something very risky. You see, even though the store did very well, he saw potential in sugar, and he wanted to invest in it. So he sold the International Dry Goods Store for $2 million. Came straight here and bought Houmas House for $1 million. Folks, that's about $36 million today.
Wow.
Not only that, in the course of his life, he had acquired 12 more major producing sugarcane plantations. So, that's wicked. Now, when he died in 1881, he was considered one of the most wealthy men in the nation. He had a vast sugar empire, and everybody actually called him the Sugar Prince of the Sugar Palace. Okay. Now, he never married, never had any children, so the bulk of his estates went to his childhood friend, Oliver Byrne. Now, this is where it gets pretty scary. Okay. Because John Burnside had a mistress of over 40 years he kept in this mansion named Maggie. Okay. 25 years before he died.
There's Maggie.
Yeah. 25 years before he died, he had written a will, okay? Probably giving some of his estates to Maggie, okay? When he died in 1881, there was another will that named Oliver Byrne as, well, receiving the bulk of his estates, okay? And then Maggie disappeared. Okay, Maggie disappeared. She sure did. No one knows what happened to Maggie, okay? Well, Oliver Byrne did get the bulk of his estates, and he was overwhelmed getting it, okay? So he asked his son-in-law, William Portia Miles, to manage his estate here at Houmas. Now, when Oliver died 7 years later, you think he'd give the mansion to his son-in-law, right? William Portia Miles. Except he didn't like him much. So he gave it to his grandchildren. And when they grew up, they combined their shares together. They formed the Miles Planting Manufacturing Company that produced 10 million pounds of sugar every year. That's only paid for me one time by itself. Anyways, now, let's see if you paid attention in history class.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what William Portia Miles is known for?
We didn't learn about him in history.
They learn
Sugar
about
cane.
him?
Not in my history.
Sugar, a lot of people say it's
Sugar
sugar cane.
cane.
And not being liked very much.
Yeah.
He designed the Southern Cross, which later became the
Oh,
Confederate
I
on the
didn't know.
Tennessee Boulevard. Okay? All right.
I have a
So,
question.
yes.
When Maggie disappeared,
Mhm.
was there an addition made to the house during this time?
I know, right?
Because I would be very curious if they
Right.
built onto the house and her body in somewhere in the
Yeah.
building part.
buddy.
Just curious.
Personally, I think that
The
she probably
dates.
fed to the gators. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they say that's some sloth right there.
Yeah.
Little easier to do that.
Right. All right. So now, folks, whereas this room is known for socializing and shenanigans, it was all the malarkey that happened in the next room, the gaming, gambling, billiards room.
This was the fun room, the party room.
Sorry, right here.
Look at the dog, Ariana.
That's hilarious.
It's gonna pop out.
Yeah, right in there, and right in there.
These are,
Mama Mabel would love
There
this.
it goes.
Okay. Excuse me, monster.
I'm sorry. Stand in the doorway.
Now, folks, those men were such serious gamblers, sometimes they gambled away their whole plantations, okay?
Wow.
And John Burnside did just that. He lost 2 of his plantations at the horse races in New Orleans, and he knew he had to get them back. So he went over to England to reestablish his English citizenship. Then he went over to Ireland, okay? He bought himself a thoroughbred. And instead of shipping the horse to his stables in New Orleans, he had the horse shipped here to Houmas and kept the horse in this room to hide him from everyone. Then he would exercise him around at night.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh, that's
That's funny.
You know he entered that horse in the horse races in New Orleans, not only won one of his plantations back, but 2 more.
wow.
And the horse's name? Black Gold.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty.
You want to hear a funny story about these two paintings of the dogs?
Yeah.
These paintings are, and if you ever noticed already, they got people hands. That's because they were originally painted as people in an art studio in France in 1858 by an artist named Godfrey. And then the owners failed to pick them up, so they're just left hanging on the wall in the studio. Well, Godfrey left the studio and another artist came in. And when he saw these people, he found them so hideous looking, he went ahead and repainted them something more pleasant to look at.
That's funny.
That's kind of awesome.
That's funny.
Okay, so now folks, another night I was closing. Okay, it was a late night, about 8:15 or whatnot. Dark, right? I was straightening out these lawn darts. Okay, I like to fan them out, really neat, just like this. Okay? So, I was doing this, my last lawn dart, went over here, got it, was coming back this way, happened to look up in the mirror, and I saw this part and this part of a shadow person ducking out of it. Of course, the first thing I did was look around to see if there was any, something was behind me or something, right? So, I went ahead and just put the last one down and smartly exited the room.
Which we can do now.
I got it.
Yes, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, what's that two-bedroom central hall cottage that was built in front of the trading post? This was actually the front door to the cottage. Now, this building is a rectangular shaped building, but it was Dr. Crozat who bought it in 1940, opened off the walls. Because he put in plumbing and electricity, by opening off the walls, he hit all the pipes and the wires and such. Now, on the other side of this wall, he put himself a kitchen, but now we use it as administrative offices. Where someone so boldly told me, is that where he cooks the books? I'm like, get off my tour.
Gosh.
Come on up there. All right, the spiral staircase is put in by Wayne Hampton II, and it does connect all the levels. There you go. Called Hush Hush Charlotte. Where I'm at right now, right?
It's in the movie.
It's in the movie. But we've had heads go down this stairs many times since then.
Davis room.
Yeah.
Normal way was the door.
It's an exorcism kit?
I'm gonna tell you about that here in a second.
Okay.
Why you need exercise?
Sometimes. Maybe.
All right, folks. This is the Betty Davis room and the room she actually stayed in at the filming of Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. She even slept in this mid-1700s bed, okay? Now, yes, the display case has some strange and not so strange items, okay? On the right, you see a lot of things that are self-explanatory, but I want to talk to you about those lead bullets right there. The one from the Union side, the long one all the way to the right with the two rings, Confederates. That's when they knew friendly fire.
Oh, wow.
The letter,
It's okay.
You're fine. I
wow.
promise, you're fine.
I do not like
How
At
it.
least it's daytime outside.
How did that happen?
Can you
Can you turn on the lights, please?
please?
Please? Oh,
Betty Davis. Where you at, girl?
Girls aren't listening, so let's just go ahead and,
Please.
what is going on?
Can you please turn the lights
Oh.
on?
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
What is going on, y'all?
Please, pretty
Wow. Leave them on, please. It was uncle that lived in the area just complaining that there are changes down here in the deep south. And we like it that way, don't we, folks? Yes, indeed. The strange things. I wouldn't get too close to that mask. Because that is an authentic voodoo deck mask from New Orleans. All right? And voodoo rituals, someone would put on that mask and be possessed by evil spirits. It would take the blessings of a priest to make them good again, okay? It expelled the evil spirits, but there was a point to that, because if they needed those evil spirits to do something, that would do it, okay? All right, you know how voodoo is. Next to that is an authentic 1800s.
Ooh, it's lights going on.
Authentic voodoo death mask from New Orleans, once owned by our
I can't believe
author,
Ruby just
Miss
cursed on the
Price,
live feed,
who is the
but
author of
it's
Eerie,
okay.
The Vampire.
Yeah.
She was actually gifted that by the doctor that she interviewed for that book at her castle in England. If you want to take a better look at it.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe I'm just gonna.
Now y'all want to,
Maybe I'm just gonna.
now y'all want to see something really scary?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
She said no.
when the owner bought the mansion in 2003, it was in a little bit disrepair and regard.
This is the vampire slaying kit right here.
A grand opening.
And this is the voodoo death mask,
Now the
guys.
bride's wedding dress was inspired by Princess Diana's wedding dress, and she was driven up the alley of Oaks in a horse-drawn carriage. Would you like to see who got married that day?
No.
Yes.
No, that's so funny. It may be scary in there.
There we go.
Don't open it.
Oh, it's not scary.
Doggies got married that day.
See.
It would. That would have been a great place for a scare, though, if we would have knew.
Even the hall prince.
Wedding dress is
Yeah.
and the portrait next to it.
All right, folks, we're gonna go into the William Porter Miles room next.
The William Portia Miles room, guys.
That's Betty Davis.
It's always really dark in here, so bear with the lighting.
Hey,
It's even worse right now, but that's okay.
oh,
If you
God.
made it this long, I'm
Now,
very
folks.
impressed, actually.
Sometimes their furniture making was extremely clever. Sometimes one item had more than one function, like this child's high chair here. It actually transcends.
Wow, that's cool.
We regress.
Yeah, we should have had that.
Now, everybody remember who Aaron Burr was?
No.
No? Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton were two government, yeah.
There we go.
Two government representatives
Maybe a little
of
better
New
for
York,
you.
And they didn't like each other, so they talked bad things about each other. Well, sooner or later, one of them challenged the other one to a duel, and it was actually supposed to be a French duel. They were supposed to have shot each other over the heads. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but
Just think of us.
Aaron Burr,
again.
yep, Aaron Burr actually pointed his pistol right at Alexander Hamilton and shot him dead.
Oh.
But he actually designed this child's desk here. Now you would think that you would lift the child up and put it in the desk, right? No. You can swing this open, the child gets in, and the child right in the desk.
They have that at every single school now.
I would think they should, huh?
I know there's a locking mechanism right inside.
Maybe not.
You can just lock them in the desk.
Yep, cars up there, big and quill, right here. And when he was in use, or if that child was extra naughty, boom, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It turned into a centerpiece table. Nah, I would never. Never. Okay. Now, I wouldn't stand too close to that.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
The creepy dolls.
The creepy dolls. I didn't know I had a doll fetish until I learned about those dolls. Okay?
Victoria?
Those dolls not only have human hair, they have human baby teeth in them, and some of them are
There they are,
so
guys.
sharp
You
that
can
it
get
looks
a
like
better
riding a
look
Chucky
of it.
shark. Yep. So, safe to say, I don't go over there. When I close this mansion up, I don't look over there, okay? Because I don't want to see one of those dolls move. They wonder why our dolls are so haunted. Right there, all right? Now, I looked it up on Google, you know, I go to Google for everything.
This one has
And what happened was, what came up were death dolls. When some of these children died, they would actually make a doll in that child's image, taking the child's hair and teeth and putting them in the doll.
It's the teeth.
Mhm.
Ugh.
disgusting.
Pretty much.
Well, all right,
Has
folks,
it too.
let's go out to that second floor gallery.
There she is.
There's that one and that one is where I'm from. Yeah, electric stuff right there.
I just want y'all to see the view. Come on out.
Beautiful.
Wait, so is this what you said was the widows
Oh,
on the side where they can go?
yes.
Oh,
what's going on?
Oh, much better.
It's fine.
Beautiful.
Okay, so what do you think about the view?
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Isn't it? It's beautiful Louisiana weather, y'all.
It's a perfect.
Finally.
It really is. It really is.
So wait, is this the widows that you were talking about? Or is it on the
Very
very top?
top.
The very top.
Very tall, yes.
There's the view.
No, we can't go up there. Because let me tell you about the third floor.
That's where he lives, your owner?
No,
Oh,
no. He lives on the second level.
oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, right now, the third level back then was used for storage. Okay, right now we use it as our creepy dressing room. Now there is something that's up on the third level that likes to throw things at people. Okay, yes. I was up there one day, I was reading my Kindle and I was eating my lunch. And something was thrown at me and of course I looked up and I said, I'm not the one. Okay? And nothing's happened since then. But what's ever up there does not like my boss. Okay? My boss, she's from deep Alabama. So she's got that real southern drawl and she's loud. Okay? So she's up there, she's sweeping. Okay? Sweeping. She bends over to put the trash in the dustbin, right? Something is thrown at her head so hard it busts her head open.
Oh my God.
You did. She goes, I sure did, I'm scared. I'm like, oh my God, you woman, spit fire. Whatever's up there has tried to push her down those spiral staircases, not once but twice.
Oh my
She
God.
caught herself on the 5th stair.
So does she not go up there anymore?
Her office is up there.
Oh, God.
But you know what? She never goes up there. Only when she absolutely has to.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah. Scary. That's why we don't allow our guests up there. It's a liability.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. Next two rooms are the current owner's private room.
When the ghosts just live in the attic. See? Just
So-
live alone.
We're not gonna spend too much time in his rooms, but I do like to share some things with you. Please walk and step. Where do you want
Oh,
to
jeez.
It's just a reflection, but like.
Ooh, the doors are making noises too. Ooh, the doors are making noises too.
You want to be part of the tour now?
Oh, yeah.
The guy that owns the house.
Oh, right, folks. Now, this was known as the Hampton Room before. Now, the current owner uses it as a guest room / office, okay? And he can sleep in this mansion with his 2 dogs all he wants, okay? Only because he doesn't believe in the supernatural, but you could pay enough to spend the night in this mansion by myself. Now the busted Theodore Roosevelt there on the desk. He was really good friends with William Portia Miles and visited the mansion twice.
Really?
Once in 1903, as president, he came there to go hunting with William. And then he brought his family back in 1908 for a stay. Okay. This strange looking chair right here is called a soldier's or officer's chair. Because it didn't matter what hippie wore a saber on, you could sit in that chair without removing it. Okay. This green chair right here is called a gentleman's reading chair that ladies were not allowed to use. Because to use it, you have to straddle it, and that was improper lady etiquette back then. Can you imagine me sitting in that chair? No, it would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah. Couldn't read a book at all. All right, next room is the Burnside room.
Okay, nah, okay, going in the back. I touched it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not
No, it's not very nice either.
Yeah. I was like, you had to be a guest right here. I don't know if I
I couldn't be a guest either. So, now folks, I like to get, since it's the Burnside room, now the current owner's bedroom, I like the opportunity to tell a couple of stories about Burnside, okay? Now, before I tell you this next story, folks, just know slaves could not be freed in 1858. It was illegal to do so, okay? They also could not own land. Now, Burnside didn't believe in slavery. He has been quoted as saying, I have no interest in owning another human being. With that being said, the first thing he did when he bought the plantation was divide up a bunch of land over here at River Road. Then he called all of his enslaved out here in the front yard, all 800 of them, and basically told them, I want you here to work for me willingly. What is going on?
It's the third floor?
I keep feeling, I couldn't feel it. Anyway, what is that? There's some, oh well.
Can I go back on the balcony?
Balcony. I know where it's
There's
outside.
something
I
out
think
there.
that's where. On the bell.
So, he called all his enslaved, and he basically told them, I want you here to work for me willingly, okay? So for those of you that can't, I'm not gonna stop you from leaving, but first, let me give you some incentive to stay. If you stay, I'm gonna give you your own plot of land right over here to use as if it was your own. Go ahead and build your home under British rule. So unless you want to insult the British, you are trespassing on British soil, so guess what? Bugger bought it. Not one shot was fired on any of John Burnside's properties during the Civil War. As a matter of fact, remember when I said he went to England? He bought himself a big English flag, not knowing what he was gonna do with it.
Not you. I'm sorry. I was talking to him.
What did he do? Try to speak?
Yes. Well, he ended up hanging that big British flag between those two center columns outside, which is a straight shot for the Mississippi, just to remind Butler that he was not to be trifled with. Okay? One item in this room that I like, see this step stool right here?
Maybe it is outside. Want to go out there with it?
Wait, right? Okay, there's a bed right there. I'm like, why?
I
is
was
that
looking
bed?
at that.
Yeah.
I was looking at the
I debunked
where
it.
is it?
But this is the step stool the dogs used to get in bed with Dad today. But back then, it was your best friend in the middle of the night.
It's
a toilet.
Yeah, in the
Put
bathroom.
that in there.
That's hysterical.
My good sir.
All right, folks,
Excuse
let's
me.
go. We're gonna go right on in here. Watch your step.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, it's coming out.
Who's that?
Again.
Downstairs.
One more time.
This room feels
I don't
creepy.
like this.
Oh, it's so scary.
Here, Ariana. Look at the fountains. It's
Baby, I
winter.
promise you it's okay.
I'm gonna turn on the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn on the lights a little bit. There we go.
There we go.
Now it's much better. We can go in here now.
No more ghost stories. Hey, it's lit. What? Oh.
Well, there's only one way out, and it's through this room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You would do that?
Copyrighted.
You would do that? Would you do that to see?
Oh no, I apologize for saying. Well, like, yeah, I didn't see him.
Oh.
I used to talk to my cousin, so I won't like her. Because I know it's a fair.
When the ghost hunter came in here, she got a couple of hits of them saying Cheryl and her device. And they're like, okay, because they, the device heard her name, so it's gonna repeat her name and all that kind of stuff. Then on the way out, it said Donnie. That's her husband. And his name was not said throughout the whole tour. Yeah. So when she was out, she heard Donnie, she went, this. What? There was an apparition of a little girl right beside her.
Chills.
Okay?
Chills,
Yes.
chills.
Another time, visited the mansion. Okay? And it was in here where she said, Cheryl, I have a message for you. Cheryl's like, what? She goes, there is an African-American woman standing there with a child, and she wants to tell you that this is her grandson. okay? A week before, Cheryl had her grandchildren in here running around.
Wow.
Oh, so she was introducing her,
Yeah.
so that's cool.
Yes, yes. All right, now, the moms put this room in as 2 bedrooms. There was a hallway right here that separated them. Dr. Crows that came along, got rid of the hallway, turned this into his library. Today, we use this room and all the rooms in the trading post as our fine dining restaurant, Latil's Landing. And this is the room that's over the carriageway downstairs that helps connect the trading post to the mansion. Okay?
Why is there a door there?
Why is there a door here?
Yeah.
That's what the Crows, the Miles wanted. Okay, so, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
How
a
else are-
drop-off.
Oh, no.
How else are we gonna get out of here?
It's a staircase.
It's stairs.
I was like, wait, I
No, we're
didn't
gonna-
see this.
Yeah,
And
we're
then-
gonna go
It-
into
Never
1770.
mind.
It was-
I should have looked through the window.
It was still a
before.
good question.
Here, it looks like a drop-off.
It does,
I
it
was
does.
like,
Well, can you imagine?
it's like the
if I said,
Winchester
okay,
house.
It would be a real haunted house then.
Have you been there? Have you been there?
No, I have not. I have not.
Freaky.
I know. That's definitely on the bucket
Oh,
list.
yeah. The movie,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
see some footage in the house. There are some stairs that lead to nowhere.
Right.
I've been on those stairs.
Oh.
All right, folks, if you wanna come over here, I'm gonna open up those doors. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go down to 1774, climb down the first flight of staircase, go to that first landing, go up to the room on the right through those green double doors. Watch your step as you go into that room, because that step's high and it's not lit.
All right. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
We're not hanging out there, that's good.
Ooh, it's completely dark in this room. Except for some candles, but I'm still taking you guys in here. Because, I'll get you by the can.
Here on the left is Alexander Latil, the Frenchman, and Maurice Conway, the Irishman. This happens to be Conway's room. Latil's is on the other side. Now, the ceiling beams and the flooring are all original cypress wood. The walls are 18 inches thick, made of don't brick red clay from the Mississippi River, made here. It's got fuselage in it, which could be hay, horse's hair, Spanish moss, mixed with mud, acting like a fantastic insulator. And stucco and plaster are put over the bricks to keep everything intact and also to even the walls out. Now, folks, this building is 248 years old. Can you imagine how many hurricanes have hit this building? And it's still here.
It's awesome.
We need to build our homes like this
I
again
know,
now.
I
We
know.
really do. But there's no money in it. You hear me? They want your roof to blow off in your wall.
Okay.
I've never felt anything in this room before, but I have in Latil's.
2 theaters of each thing.
Maybe 2 or 3. Maybe 2 or 3. But like the room under us is where they put groups of people, and in the library,
Okay.
where we just keep out.
Cool. This is awesome.
All right.
I've
Oh,
never
folks.
eaten in here.
You never eaten that? Yeah, it's very romantic. Have these candles lit and everything. It's really good.
Cornbread carrot cake.
There we go.
All right, folks, we'll go down there and maybe
So far, that's the creepiest feeling vibe room to me.
Run down.
We're going there, down.
Here's our group coming, and I wanted people to enjoy it. But if you made it this far, thank you so much.